Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching, welcome, consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, thank you. Your support and the fact that you keep coming back really means a lot to me. So I'm going to take you through sort of a start to finish. These are two separate sessions for my high performance driving education course, quote unquote, or as I like to call it, a fun track day. This wasn't a timed event or competitive event. It's just not what the insurance sort of allows for this kind of event here. But basically, this first lap, it's all about getting the engine cooled down. I was sitting in the paddock for a while and also warming up the tires, the brakes, everything, getting things in operating temperature. So you'll see me cruising here, just taking it easy, taking it ever so easy. I try to imagine my lines through here. This is actually not the correct line, and I do know, just from simulation experience and from driving experience and from what everybody else has said, that those first two S's there, you're supposed to basically, it's a left turn to set yourself up to a high-speed exit on the second turn. I didn't always get it right. As I said, this is my first time at this track, but I had a great time. I highly recommend it. Anyone who wants to take their car out, and these guys are very cool. I raced this event with the SCDA. They run the whole thing, and they're really very awesome. So all of that being said, I think this is when I kind of start getting into a swing of things. I decide, okay, I think things are warmed up, and start testing them out. As you can see, there's no one up front, and this is good. I'll talk about that in a little bit. This first braking point here is really hard to get if you're someone like me who hasn't been to a track in a while, and I really didn't even know what the limits of the car were. All these upgrades that I put onto the car were put on, like some of them were like the night before track day, so I didn't know how far to push on braking or accelerating at some points. But the S's are smooth. You're supposed to just go through the nice and smooth, but I'm not. On this particular point, I didn't push out hard enough. This was another one. The first time I did it, I felt my stomach like go into my, my ass basically, because it's such a huge difference in elevation from when you start that, last corner to the next. This corner is pretty straightforward. It is a high-speed corner, but I was babying it during this session. This one is scary because it's such a sweeping, fast turn, and you could almost straighten it out if you keep your eyes up and you're looking the right direction. But it just looks like, okay, if I get this wrong, I'm hitting the wall. So the timing system that I'm using here is Track Addict. It's an app on the phone. It's a pretty cool app. It's pretty good. I don't know how accurate it is. My first lap, as you can see, there was like a 119 or something like that. It got as low as about a 115 somewhere during the session or the next session. But it's something that I want to replace with an actual timing system like the AIM Solo 2. It's a very good system, and that way I don't have to worry about my cell phone dying, because during some sessions, I'm like, in between sessions, I was charging my phone, and even then the phone will still die after a couple laps or after a whole session. So if you're doing this, either bring a spare phone. If you have an old iPhone or an old Android that's sitting around, download the app and don't worry about doing anything else but that with it. So here I'm catching up to some of the crowd that was in front of me, and that's okay. I think there was a slow guy here. There's a BMW, the white BMW right there. He he was obviously still, just like me, getting a hang of things, and the Lotus is gonna get by him, I think, on the next lap. So let's just watch this here. I try to mimic the Lotus a lot because that's a really good handling car with a very good driver behind it. If I could follow those lines, I figured I was in good shape. I did back off a little bit. I don't want to be right up someone's bumper. I love this hill. So here you're supposed to be allowed to pass. So the driver in front of you, he'll put his hand out the window. It's called a point by. And that just means, you know, you can pass. So there's no competitive passing. And again, I think I hit the brakes a little late, and I went really wide here. So I ended up going really slow and having to let someone get by. In the moment, I forgot which were the passing zones, so that's why this guy didn't pass me. You're not supposed to pass in certain areas. So I think coming up here, it's a no-name straight. That's where he's gonna pass me. And I believe it's a Miata. Yep. Can't be ashamed of that. Yeah, those are passing a lot of people on the road. But that's basically it for this session. At this point, I think, if I remember correctly, the brakes were already sort of giving up on me, because I weren't properly bedded in. This session was basically the bedding for the brakes. Not on purpose, but the next couple seconds we're going to cut over to session 2, where all the drama was. And just like that, here we go. And as you can see, right away, letting people by. Just letting people right by. So as I mentioned earlier, at the start of the other video, I let some distance get between me and some folks, right? Sort of to give me space to get adjusted to the track, get the car in the temperatures. But this session, either it was very, very crowded, or, you know, I was really, really slow. And just like when you're driving on the highway and you have people passing you left and right, left and right, left and right, it can get really, really hectic and really scary when you can't get a groove. So here I am, just cruising at 80, cruising. I'm trying to find an opening, trying to get a window where I can do my own thing without getting in anyone's way. So here I think I'll just let this lap play out. Nope. This one kind of sucked. I think I have to let a few more guys by after this, but again, if you go to these events, try to find out what your groove is, where you should be. If you don't think you're as fast as the guys around you, just, you know, talk to the organizers, and they'll find a place for you. But I think at this point I finally found an opening where I could run a clean lap without having to bump into people or let someone by. So I'm just gonna let this lap play out. gonna let a Ferrari go by. Can't blame me for doing that. It's a Ferrari. Alright, so that's basically it. Again, thank you for watching. If you're coming back as a subscriber, thank you. Thanks again for all your support. Hit the like button if you liked it. If this is your first time watching my videos, consider subscribing. And that's it. I'll be back with some more content later in the week.